Drop it. Drop it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pops and Drops podcast. I am your host, Chance the Closer, along with my co-host, Rowdii. On this week or tonight's episode, we have Clokwork, who is a local legend in Portland and has been killing it DJing for the past 25 years. Really making waves for a long time. How's it going, Clokwork?
It's good, man. You know, just hanging out here, waiting, excited for Thursday. The show is going to be pretty fun, I think. Sounds like it's got a lot of good hype. So,
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to have you on as our headliner because you've been DJing for a while. How did you first get started?
First, I started. Friends got me into it. You know, just hanging around while they had the turntables and watching them do their thing. I was at first okay. Then once I started really going to shows and getting into it, watching big DJs do what they do, I was like, okay, I think I can figure this out. So jumped into the game on the turntables. You know, probably 99, 2000. Started pushing pretty heavy, more like in 2001, as far as trying to get out and get gigs. Back in the day, you know, you had to learn for a while before you got out there.
Yeah.
So put in my time doing that in the bedroom, so to speak, and then hit the streets real hard and started playing shows whenever I could.
What genres did you start out with?
Mostly my early genre was hard energy, like the darker, like techno type stuff, but more of a little more of a funky vibe to it than just hard techno. So yeah, like a more industrial even, so to speak, but not like a actual industrial. So the way I called it industrial because it had like mechanical sounds to it.
Nice. When you first started, were you always Clokwork, or where did that come from?
I didn't really have much of a name at start. Then I started kind of making the joke that I'm always on time, so my beats are like clockwork, and then that just kind of stuck.
Nice.
So. Yeah, and then I figured out there was other Clockworks out there, so I decided to spell it the way I do. I uniquenized it.
Took out the C.
Promoters ever since. Great.
Yeah. I like that word, uniquenize.
Yeah, that is such a cool word. That is so uniquenized.
Kind of like fetch. I'm kind of making it happen.
Yeah. Nice. So do you, when you're building your sets or making your sound, do you draw inspiration from outside of music?
Oh, definitely. Like seeing what other friends do, hearing what other DJs do is part of it. But outside of music, it's art. It's what's popular in the scene at the time. As far as anything from fashion, whatever. Like I wherever I draw inspiration from always brings me back to the music. But yeah, a lot of it comes like seeing art and just how people are doing other things besides just the music with their sets and such.
So you have the Tech Tonic show coming up this Thursday. Are you using anything outside Are you using anything outside of music normally to help inspire this set, or what's inspiring this one?
So for this one, it's just I feel like you guys are a really good crew to work for, so I definitely wanted to do my best to show you what I could do, and I've kind of stepped away for a little bit, so it's slowly relaunching myself into the scene. This is another good stepping stone towards that. So just hoping people show up and get the funk down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Before you stepped away, did you have any like really memorable shows or performances that you did?
Yeah, definitely. I've been pretty fortunate over the years to play some really good shows. Brave River 2 was one of my favorites. It was a set that, I just thought was just a normal set. I enjoyed it, but I always enjoy my sets. So, a lot of people came up and said I did better than the headliner, which was crazy. As solo boxed. No diss to him at all. He did great.
Yeah.
I think some people were just like, as friends, were saying that. That was the first big one where I really felt like I was kind of coming into my own. And then, so from there, I've been fortunate to play most of the bigger local shows. Like I said, Pulsar has always been a supportive crew. Got to play a lot of their shows. They're always good to play for. Then we did Dreamtime Productions for a little while with my friend Jay and I and a couple other people ran that. We brought some pretty good names here to Portland. Did some big shows at the Gresham Skate Center before that got torn down. Things like that. Yeah, I've been very fortunate to be involved in this scene pretty heavily for quite a long time and get lots of support in doing it.
So what's your process structuring your sets before you go into a show? Do you have a...
I'm pretty freeform. I definitely select tracks that I know I want to play, anywhere from 30 to 50 tracks, depending on the type of music and how long the set is and such. And even then, I've got other folders I could dip into if I need to. So I practice through the tracks, but I don't really practice a set per se. I like to keep it pretty open in case there's a moment the crowd's not feeling what I'm playing. I know I can switch it up to something else and not feel like I've lost track of where I'm going because I didn't really have a destination to begin with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get stuck in practicing sets, and then if it's not going well, they just push through.
Yeah.
And it's like hoping people will catch on, but if you leave yourself that ability to open it up and try other things, you typically get a lot more crowd reaction that way. So overall, I do a lot of practicing, just not the certain set, just run through the tracks, make sure I know I'm good enough, that I'm comfortable with them. I listen to them a lot too while I'm out and about or at work. I get a new track list, I listen to it a lot. That's been always a big thing for me. From there, I just play whatever I'm feeling in the moment. That allows me to be more connected to the crowd, I think.
Yeah.
It can cause you some issues sometimes, like you can, get lost in the sauce and forget to play tracks you wanted to play. But, if it worked out and it was a good set either way, it's fine.
Yeah, I think reading the room is the most important thing. It's understanding the vibe and energy of the audience.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, your storytelling, you got to keep the vibe going. You got to make sure that your story can change if that's not the vibe they're going for. If you're stuck in that one hour long 15 tracks that you've been practicing for 2 weeks and that's all you want to play and that's not going well, then
you're kind of, yeah.
It usually works out for most, but I've seen it not. And it's like, I'd much rather have hundreds of other tracks I can just throw in that I know I'm going to get to a point where the crowd is going to be digging it. If you're in the big stages, big, huge, like Tomorrowland type stuff, a lot of that's semi-pre-recorded, time-coded per se with visuals and stuff.
Yeah.
So you have some points you have to hit for sure, but but that's what people are paying for at that level. Local, you want to make sure that you're catching the vibe.
Yeah, big time. That's a whole other ball game when you're doing the huge things, because they have to make sure that the pyro is going to line up perfectly with the drop and all that sort of stuff. But you got to cut your teeth in the local stuff and the clubs in order to make it to that. Yeah. So, is there anything, before you got started, is there anything that you wish you knew that you learned over the course of your career? Like if you could talk to you from 20 years ago, what advice would you give yourself?
DJing becomes a grind, but stick with it. There's a lot of clicky backhandedness out there too, and people, shady people, unfortunately, just come and go in the scene.
Yeah.
And so just be more mindful of watching out for them.
Mm-hmm.
In better ways. I've been pretty fortunate to only work with a couple people that really probably shouldn't have worked with, but I didn't know at the time. One of those situations, but those opened my eyes up to really just doing your research, hence you guys, I can tell you guys are good people and totally worth working with. So it's very easy to do whatever you guys need me to do to help that show happen, but there's been times where I've given my effort to crews that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Lessons learned, right? So if a younger me would want to know ahead of time to just be more, be less stuck in the moment and look at the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't take every gig that comes, because sometimes they're not worth it.
Yeah, actually, there's a saying that you can't drink from every cup because you never know if one cup's going to be poison. So.
One cup's gonna be poison.
It's true though. You never know what cup's gonna be poison.
100%. You know, you never know when that last one cup's going to get you. So, you know, and I think I kind of got lost in the other end of that in the last couple of years where I just haven't had that motivation or been feeling the love for the music like I should. You know, just a lot of social anxiety and stuff like that has come up. But
Yeah.
I've learning to push through that, you know, and I want to get back out there and just really like make people happy dancing.
Yeah. I after COVID, I was like so social before the Rona hit. I was like going out all the time. And then like when things first started to open up, I was like, I don't want to go out ever. I just want to stay here. I don't want to leave, you know?
Right.
I actually used to have.
That definitely made it easier for a lot of people to realize they were introverts.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I actually used to have such bad social anxiety. It was maybe a couple months after my firstborn. So I was probably, you know, having postpartum depression and everything too. But my social anxiety was so hardcore that I couldn't even go to the grocery store to pick up milk if I needed it because I was like scared that if I was to go out, people were going to be looking at me and judging me and talking about me. And eventually I got to a point where I realized like nobody gives a about me enough to be judging me like that, you know, but
it is a bit of an egotistical thing in that way to think, you know, I'm so important that people are going to want to see me, but it's like at the same time, it really is a real fear. Like I just you know, if you don't want to be around people, you don't want to, you know, but you got to learn tools to deal with that because the people that want you to be around will make it better when you're there.
Yeah.
I don't know, like like my social anxiety at the time, even before the social anxiety, I didn't care if people knew who I was, you know. But now doing the promotion thing, like I'm obviously trying to get out there a little bit more. But yeah, back then I really did not give two craps, and like even before this, I really wanted to stay low key. I would much rather stay low key and not have the radar on me, you know, not have people.
Right. I feel you.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We here.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And that time that I'm up there doing my thing, like I literally get off the deck. People are like, "Oh, great show!" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I push the buttons."
I sleep on a pillow at night.
Yeah.
Just like you. Don't worry, I'm not that famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. But like the hour before, the hour of is way different than the hour after. That's for sure. And it's like, yeah, right after that, I'm good. I'm happy that people are complimenting me and stuff like that. But it's like I just got to get through that. Like,
Yeah.
You know, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I feel that.
I hope the signing the posters isn't going to be too awkward for you. We're.
I mean, I've signed some chests in my life. I've signed some things. So, not gonna be able to read my handwriting, I'll tell you that. But
Yeah.
signature, you can't read signatures anyway, right?
We'll record it so people know that it's actually yours.
Yeah. There we go.
I like it.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an awesome lineup on Thursday. Have you ever done B2B, or have you had any like dream collabs?
Chris Lake would be great, or someone like that, you know, that matches the kind of energy that I like to play. Maybe a good old disco house DJ too. I'd like to see what I can do with a real disco house DJ.
Yeah.
I like to think I could play some disco house anyway. Yeah, I'm established friends. I had a couple really good collabs over the years. Friends that we do it occasionally. My friend James Menges and I were the Tropical Twins for a little while. We both wore like flannel or floral shirts, button up, you know, like Hawaii shirt and stuff like that. And like we had a whole theme going. We played breaks in house. My friend Jake and I always had really good stuff going. He just never really got that into the DJ side of things, so didn't go that far. But yeah, there's been some ones that, you know, haven't been great, but that's just, you know, you realize, okay, I don't need to mix with that person again. That's all that is.
Yeah.
You know, styles don't match up or, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm willing to try. I've been pretty open to working with most anybody over my time. That's kind of been my thing. It's like I'm always newer crews or newer DJs, you know, if they want to step up, and I'm down to see what they got, you know.
So someone who's never seen you before, how would you describe your sound to them to try to get them to check you out?
Funky, bouncy, real good times. Like I'm in the vibe. I put my music out there so much and with so much passion that if you're gonna love it just like I do. You know, like I really like put my heart and soul into what I'm playing. I don't really produce. I just find tracks that make me feel that way.
Yeah.
And then I push that out there. But overall, just it's gonna be a good time. You know, it's gonna be fun, bouncy. You're gonna recognize a lot of stuff that I play because it's upper level pop remixes, you know, but with good bass lines to it and stuff like that, right?
Sick.
Pick the cheesy remixes, you know, go through and get them good ones that they're like that's the one. So yeah, overall fun, easygoing, great time. You know, you're gonna love the vibe by the time that you've experienced it.
So does that kind of go in line with your like message as an artist is just to have fun?
I mean, basically, yeah, right. We can't take this too seriously. You know, you see what happens if you do.
Yeah.
Kind of why I've never been big on pushed on getting like, you know, if I'm traveling or something like that, I like to get paid. Local shows, you know, as long as they're good friends, I'm not too worried about pay when it comes to that because I don't want to get caught up in the oh, I didn't get the $150 like the last time, so I'm not going to play that gig, you know, type vibe. Like I don't know, that's some say that's not the greatest for a DJ in the scene, but that's just how I do it. You know, like I work full time. I do this for fun. So this is like, I don't need the extra money as much. And I'd rather not miss out on a gig with good friends just because they can't necessarily pay me as much as I need to be paid.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any other shows or any other?
right now, it's pretty. Other than Thursday, it's pretty low on the calendar right now. Holiday seasons are always kind of hit and miss.
Yeah.
You know, might be into a New Year's show. I'm not sure. I'm talking to somebody about that. So if that happens, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, overall, just gonna focus on Thursday, and then got a bunch of life stuff happening. So focusing on that. Like I'm going to Loveburn in February in Florida with my partner. So doing like that's been more my goal lately. Is as far as stepping back to the scene, is I've been going out and experiencing other scenes, other types of shows, doing burner parties, just bigger festivals, just seeing what else is out there, you know.
Yeah, you just went to your first burn this year, right?
I did. In Georgia. It's called Alchemy.
Tell us about that.
And the art is amazing, and intense. Everybody is very welcome and friendly. Camps are crazy. People put a lot of effort and time into each little bits of their camps, and everything's like come in and check it out and touch this and feel that, you know, and like they have great ideologies and such, and you know they push very much like consent and forward thinking. Was it like the burger principles? They're very strong, very good. You know, I think I haven't done the big burn, but from everything my partner says and from what other people say, it really is a lot more about the regionals because it's smaller scale and more intimate.
Yeah.
Big bird's great. People enjoy it, but it's kind of like it had its time, and now it's in a weird space thing. So, but these smaller ones, people are putting more heart and time and passion into. So
yeah, I'm so intimidated by Burning Man. I like want to go really bad, but I'm also so scared. I feel like I might die if I go. And
I don't know. I mean, my girl just went solo camp and made it there Sunday a couple hours before those big storms hit and got her camp set up and through that, and then had a great time the rest of the week. So, I mean, if you prepare properly, it can be done.
Yeah.
You know, she did the first year she did with a camp, and then decided to do free camp just because she didn't want to pay dues and just see what it was like.
Yeah.
And I think she had a much better experience free camping. You know, you just got to make sure you're bringing up to sustain yourself. And that doesn't mean that there's not camps that you can't get, you know, things from that are free and all that just because you're not a part of them.
Yeah.
They feed everybody, you know, but you do want to make sure you always have enough for yourself and then be prepared for whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That car up real heavy.
Yeah, because it wasn't it the year before that everybody got mudslided in or whatever.
That was this year.
Yeah, that was 23. I think was the.
Oh, that was 23.
Okay.
Yeah, 23. Because she went in 24 and it was pretty fine. The weather was decent, like there was a couple windy days towards the end, but not a lot of rain or anything. And then this year they had the 70-mile-an-hour winds with the crazy storms.
Yeah.
First couple days for people to get there earlier, like Sunday and Monday, right? Like the real Burning Man is like Thursday through Monday.
Yeah.
That early, you're setting up camps or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, most of the night was over and done with by the time a lot of the partiers started showing up, not just the helper outers and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, maybe for my 60th birthday.
I don't know. But we agree with you on the more intimate, whoever said that the smaller Burning Mans, the more regional Burning Mans are going to be the better.
Yeah.
We've never been to Burning Man, but we do like the more intimate gatherings.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah, I got the pleasure to throw a good outdoor party for about 20 years called the 503.
Oh, cool.
Just me and my friends didn't really have anywhere to play, often. So we said, fuck it, let's rent a sound system, go out of the woods. First couple of years, and then word got out. We were doing it in Tillamook originally on my friend's birthday in June, so it always rained. We talked him into moving it more inland and being it more like in August when you could trust the Oregon weather.
Oh, yeah.
And it ended up popping off and becoming quite the big thing. So it was pretty cool. Like, it had it was, I don't know if you guys heard of Fire from back in the day, another outdoor festival we used to do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they did Liquid Sunshine a couple years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anti-fire, but it's the same people.
Yeah.
Right. We kind of were the smaller child of them, right? Like we even had Max and some of their friends play occasionally and stuff like that. There's a lot of community coming together in that sense and all that. And when you guys are all wanting to start building smaller festivals, it's a lot of fun when you get them done right. It's hard work, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the property to do it, and like we kept it pretty invite only this last time, and we'll probably do the same thing this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got to be careful.
Slowly build up our community.
Yeah, I think
You got to respect the neighbors and all that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think eventually we might try to do it somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because this is like we got animals in our
Yeah. We'll eventually be moving it. Like we would like to have a festival or a venue on the property, but it'd be more like a wedding venue if we were to do something like that, We do have we have the ability to do a festival fairgrounds, but it would be really close to home.
I think we are still gonna do it though, like next year and the year after here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we just don't want we'd love for you to come.
Yeah,
we just don't want hundreds of people. Yeah.
Sorry. These days I don't bring as many people as they used to.
Only bring 20. 20 is your limit.
I learned to keep it simple, trying to herd cats is not my vibe anymore, so.
Yeah, we're really, really looking forward to Thursday, man. I cannot wait to see you throw it down again.
Gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so much fun.
Gonna be dope.
Was there anything that you wanted to mention or close out with?
Other than be there or be square on Thursday, because if not, you're missing out.
Nobody wants.
Small place. Let's get it packed out.
Yeah. Let's go.
Nobody wants to be an L7 weenie.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That square's right here.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, no, I enjoyed this very much. So thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a great night.
See you Thursday.
Yeah, you too. All right.